Open tabs, margin notes, highlighter, bleed through quotes, research minds, steady eye patterns only she can note. I-90 fog, whispering under wheels, skyline, afterglow, 2 states, packed rooms, quiet minds that know, no sign needed out front. They circle to her voice, questions rise before she starts, curiosity by choice. She pivots mid-lecture, checks who's leaning in close. Say the part you skip out loud, that's where the learning goes. Heads home with the speakers up, Biggie in the background, mind still mapping theories while the city slows down. She teaches the why behind the crime, the hurt behind the face, Philly in her backbone, psychology in her grace. Don't let the hype fool you, she stands 10 stories tall. She don't just teach the lesson, she teaches you through it all. Late nights with case files open, notes in the margin glow. She's showing you your story's roots, so you can choose where to go. Yeah. Biggie quotes inside the slides, right next to coping skills. Spread love between the lines of how a nervous system feels. Long days, quiet grit, humor in the punchlines. You are more than this moment, written 10 times, old assessments in a folder, ink dust on the sleeve. She can map anxious attachment before you know you grieve. 1 foot in Jersey lecture halls, 1 on the Philly street. Home is where she learned to fight, classes where we don't repeat. Grown kids texting check-ins, pride she doesn't post. She teaches minds all day, then goes in mother's most. Case files, true crime, mind behind the scenes. She doesn't tell you what they did, she shows you what it means. Your story is not your diagnosis. You are allowed to rewrite it.
Hi friends. Oh, look at my face. Okay, I'm here. Marilyn. Hi Marilyn. Hi friends. How's everyone doing? Are we good? How we doing? Who's here? Let's see. I didn't tell anyone I was going live, so my lighting's weird, but it's okay. It's okay, it's okay. There we go. Maybe we just don't go as... that wasn't what I meant to do. No, that wasn't what I meant to do either. Here we go. Okay, so how's my friends? How we doing? Come on in. Oh, thank you. It's been a long day, Keith. I'm glad you're here. I know you catch me on the replay. I know you do, Marilyn. You guys. OMG. I had to come live because I was like... Wait, let me put this closer. Okay. I had to go live because... Hopefully you guys can hear me good. But... I was like reading the Epstein stuff. Oh my God. I was always told that him and Ghislaine met. Hi Lisa. That him and Ghislaine meet at, like the way they made it sound was like they met in New York when after her dad passes away. And again, this was just my understanding. I don't know what you guys thought. But that's what I thought. I thought like she meets him after dad passes away. She goes to New York and, you know, she like meets up with him at a party, whatever, and he like fills that void. After reading the stuff that I read today, that is not at all how they met. So I printed out many documents and look, they're all highlighted and ready to go. I was like, I have to like share this with someone. I didn't make any PowerPoint slides or anything, and this might not even be a very long live. Just me, but I wanted to share this with someone because I was like, if I don't do this now, I don't want to forget anything that I went over. So wait, let me share the first document. Okay, so this right here, let me see which one this is. This one is, I think that's this one here. Okay, let's see. Let me just go to the beginning real quick to see which one this is. Okay, so this is this one right here. All right. So, you guys. Okay. The first page that I want to go to. Actually, you know what? Let's do this one first. Hold on, I changed my mind. Not that I changed my mind, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to share this tab instead. Okay, so we're going to do this one first. So this right here is, now that I don't drop my pen, let me fix this so I don't drop it. Okay. Okay, here we go. I think I got it all together. If not, we're just going to work with what I have. Okay, you guys, so I was going through the files today, and there's a lot of stuff that's like redundant. Like there's some files where when you click on them, like the next thing of files or the same file that you just looked at, so on and so forth, right? But then you'll hit on some files that you're like, wait, what? I also noticed that most of the stuff that I search is I get a result from data set 9, 10, and 11. Well, I got a data set 4 and was like, oh, what is this? So I was like, let me look. And then, oh my God, you guys, I found so much. Anyway, let's do this one first. So I got the information that I'm about to share with us from the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. And it is, let me show you. It is against JP Morgan Chase. Okay. Oh, just wait. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is on page 55. I read the whole thing so that you guys don't have to. Why do I feel like that's so far? Is this the first thing or the last thing? Hold on. Yes, all right. 26 is the first thing. Sorry. All right, so we're going to go page 26. Okay, so on page 26, here we go. So I love that when I print it out on my printer, like if I do the highlight, it does the highlight, or if I write, it prints it out that way too. I'm such a nerd. The things that get me excited. Okay, so, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Well, I do know where to start. I'm just saying, like, wait till you guys see. There was just so much here. I almost pulled the Lauren in like my fingers. Oh, hell no. Oh my God, hold on. I have written in my notes, wow. Wow. Okay, what page is that? Page 23. Why did my computer, I feel like this was all printed out wrong, of course, because nothing ever goes normal here, but I got it. I got it. Alright, here we go. Start here. Look at that. I wrote start here on page 22. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Start here. Okay, so Wexner, you guys, is in all the documents. Not all of them, obviously, but he's in a lot of documents. And he, just in case anybody doesn't know, is the CEO of Victoria's Secret. Okay, so he comes up a lot. All right, here we go. The reason I have it underlined here is because this is where it starts, where it says that his close connection with Wexner paves his way for the entanglement with the Bank One and later JPM board. So JPM, you're going to see, is held responsible or held liable at the end of this. There's just so much here. So here we go. Epstein's known ties to the Maxwells should have made him a high-risk client from the time of his onboarding at JPM. I was like, wait, what? Huh? So, I read, and it says, in the early 1980s, Epstein spent his days traveling between England and the United States where he integrated into special circles comprised of socialites, arms dealers, spies, billionaires, politicians, gangsters, and various other influential figures. While in England, Epstein's first encountered British media baron Robert Maxwell, the father of Ghislaine Maxwell, with whom Epstein would later partner in running his trafficking rings. Throughout his life, Robert Maxwell was renowned as a media proprietor, a member of the British Parliament, a suspected spy, and later on, a notorious fraudster. Hold on, let me make this a little bit bigger. Wait, how do I get this? Hold on. Let's do it this way so you guys can see it better. Oh, how do I make it bigger? Forget that. I wanted it to be bigger, not that. How do I get rid of this side thing? Hold on, you guys. I apologize. Oh, here we go. Oh, that didn't work either. Oh, here we go. Anyway, I don't know why it's not just showing the whole thing the way that I want it to fit to with. Still didn't do what I wanted, but it's okay. We're good with this. Oh wait, let me try this. Oh no, because it's not fitting. Alright, forget it. I'm just going to do it this way. Who cares if I have this on the side? It's no big deal. Anyway, so here we go. So, you guys, this is crazy. Ready? What I realized here is, you're going to see I put 10 years here with a bunch of like stars and stuff. So it talks about when the dad eventually passes with his mysterious death on his yacht in 1991. But up here it says that they met, him and Epstein, in the early 80s. So I then figured it out too, because it was like 1974. Epstein was 21 years old. So I did the math, and I figured he was 28 in 80. So then he was only like in his mid-30s when her dad passes away. So he knew him all through his 20s and like most of his 30s. So throughout his life, Robert Maxwell was renowned as, oh, I just read that part. Oh, no, I didn't. He was renowned as a media proprietor, the member of the British and fraudster. Most importantly, he was eye-poppingly rich and offered Epstein the connections and money that helped to turn Epstein and Company into a massive financial advisory business. This is what's important to me, you guys. So as of yesterday, as of earlier today, I thought that Epstein was not attracted like that, but attracted to Ghislaine in the sense of she offered him access to these people, when here her dad's the one that offered him access. So the dad was like a mentor to him from way before. So he meets Ghislaine. Does anybody know how much difference they are as far as age? Hi, Harlot. How you doing? How's everyone here? Everyone, make sure you hit subscribe and like and all the things. He's so creepy, isn't he? Wexler too. Yep, I totally agree. I totally agree. So, okay, ready? I'll come back and underline that about the connections, including general dynamics and the Crown family, because in a minute or so we're going to see how that. So, the dad, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, helps connect Epstein to this general dynamics and Crown family. Okay, so we'll remember that. So then prior to his mysterious death on his yacht in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in 1991, Robert Maxwell faced allegations of espionage for the Israeli Intelligence Directorate, or the IID. Following his death, these accusations were corroborated by former IID employees and an unnamed U.S. intelligence official. You guys, what? And then look at this. In the thing, it says, official claims Jeffrey Epstein Ghislaine Maxwell worked for Israel. What? Like, what? So wait, let's see if we click on it. Wait, watch this. How do we get out of that part? I want to click on it. Oh, come on, I don't want to do that. Alright, I don't know why it's not letting me click on it. But anyway. So, wait, let me see. Is this it? No, that's not it. I clicked on something earlier and it took me to something else, but I don't know that it was this page. But anyway, so let's just keep going. So next I have whether or not he had links to intelligence agencies. Robert Maxwell served as a mentor to Epstein. What? Wait, ready? Even hoping that Epstein would become his son-in-law. What the actual what? I was like, wow, oh my God, wow, oh my God. So let me reread that in case anybody's just coming in. Whether or not he had links to intelligence agencies, Robert Maxwell served as a mentor to Epstein, even hoping that Epstein would become his son-in-law. What? So then one of Maxwell's handlers later says, Robert Maxwell saw in Jeffrey Epstein a potential husband for his daughter and a potential business partner for himself. It appears that Ghislaine Maxwell's father introduced her to Epstein in the 1980s. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. So the dad brings him into everything. Hey, Northern Fights. So the dad, you guys, it's the dad. He introduces Ghislaine and Jeffrey, so much so that he hopes that Jeffrey is someday his son-in-law. Now, the thing that I find interesting here is, look at what he says. Robert Maxwell saw in Jeffrey Epstein a potential husband for his daughter and a potential business partner for himself. So this right here, right, what do I always say? With like narcissistic type behaviors, he's looking out for himself at first, right? I mean, of course, and if his daughter marries him, then he'll be the son-in-law, so he'll have some sort of obligation, if you will, to the dad, even though the dad doesn't wind up living, da-da-da-da-da. But if he did, that would have been, I'm assuming, the expectation. So Epstein presented himself to Ghislaine Maxwell as a financial expert who could help her family's finance its business. During the time period, Robert Maxwell allegedly needed a $50 million bridge loan, which Epstein secured. OMG. What? So Robert Maxwell allegedly needed a $50 million bridge loan, which Epstein secured, you guys. That's crazy. Crazy. So, according to reporting by, among others, Seymour Hersh, under Robert Maxwell's guidance, both Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein participated in clandestine operations involving arms dealing, blackmail, and financial fraud, which ultimately played a role in the Iran-Contra. What? Did anybody know this? I didn't. I was like, wait, what is happening? Did anybody know this? I thought this was like, oh my God, like breaking news. I was like, what is happening? I can't believe this, you guys. So let me repeat that in case anybody's like, wait, what did I miss? So Robert Maxwell introduces Ghislaine to Epstein in the early 80s, so when he's in his late 20s, and he's hoping that Epstein could be like a former son-in-law of his and also a future business partner. However, he winds up dying in 1991. With that being said, before he dies, he needs a $50 million bridge loan, and Epstein secures it for him. Under Maxwell, so Robert Maxwell's guidance, Ghislaine's dad, both Ghislaine and Epstein participated in clandestine operations involving arms dealing, you guys. Arms dealing, blackmail, and financial fraud, which ultimately played a role in the Iran-Contra. I could not believe that when I saw that. Hi, Wendy. This is crazy. Her dad was a piece of work too, for sure. For sure, but this is just crazy. I don't know if like the younger kids like realize about like Iran-Contra and all that stuff, but when I read this, I was like, wait, what's happening? So, but that connection also provided the basis for a more strengthened Epstein-Ghislaine-Maxwell link. So I guess what they're saying here is that and this is all court documents, and it's all in the Department of Justice website. But I guess what they're saying here is that by working together on these clandestine operations, I guess it brought them closer together and made them feel bonded, in which they were able to build this dysfunctional relationship and business partnership, if you will. But I still can't believe this, you guys. We have to go back to this eventually, right here where it says Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Israel intelligence. That's crazy. Crazy. So we have to go back and see if that link takes us anywhere when we're done doing this. So next, it says that Robert Maxwell's involvement with Israeli intelligence became evident following his meeting with Epstein in London in the 80s. Maxwell allegedly involved in the Promise scandal, also known as Inslaw affair. Promise was short for Prosecutors Management Information. I don't know what just happened. Hopefully that wasn't out for long. Sorry about that. See, I'm glad I've been putting, no wonder you came live after reading that, right? Right, Harlot, I'm like, what's happening? Are they like kicking me off of here? So, okay, so let me reshare this since they wanted to unshare it on me. Because I think it is pretty like juicy information. Okay, so here we go. Let me see, is it back on the screen? It is. I apologize, you guys. Okay, so it says this appears to be a complaint allegation. So if we go up to the beginning, this is the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York, and it's a civil case against J.P. Morgan Chase. So J.P. Morgan Chase, which at the end, they wind up having to pay all this stuff. So I don't know how much of an allegation it was, if they were, you know what I mean? I don't know, that we'll have to look. So this next one says, this next part says, okay, so Promise was designed by, all right, so federal and state prosecutors track and flag potential money laundering operations and suspicious wire transfers. Okay, so an associate of President Ronald Reagan sought to acquire access to the software that they had. Okay, so listen up. So this is how this is what they're suggesting with the Iran-Contra. So Robert Maxwell's involvement with Israeli intelligence became evident following his meeting with Epstein in London in the 1980s. Maxwell allegedly involved in the Promise scandal, also known as Inslaw affair. Promise, short for Prosecutors Management Information System, was a software developed by U.S.-based Inslaw Inc. and designed to help federal and state prosecutors track and flag potential money laundering operations and suspicious wire transfers. So you guys, so an associate of President Ronald Reagan and his Attorney General, I didn't even realize this part, and his Attorney General, Edwin Meese, sought to acquire access to this software. So the software that they're talking about up there, what's it called? Promise software, okay? Mies and members of the Department of Justice covertly obtained the promised software, intending to use it to help U.S. intelligence organizations indirectly facilitate the very crimes that the program was supposed to invent. What? You guys. I mean, I guess, but I mean, I'm not surprised. But what? So the software also landed in the hands of Israeli agents who installed a backdoor in. All right, this is where the problem came, you guys. Ready for this? So the software landed in the hands of Israeli agents who installed a backdoor into the program and attempted to sell it to the U.S. military industrial companies, including General Dynamics. Remember I said earlier, remember that name? Who is affiliated with the Crown family that later enjoyed seats on the Bank One and JPM boards of directors. And that is from earlier, what I was saying earlier. So the alleged intermediary for this operation was Robert Maxwell. So you guys, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So that's like the whole thing behind Iran-Contra. So Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. Like, how did you guys read? Yeah, wow. Thank you, Wendy. I feel like, I don't know that anybody's really responding. So I'm like, wait, what's happening? Like, this is huge. I think this is so shady on so many levels. Oh my God. So then the next thing I saw was, hold on, let me see. Oh, here it is. So following Epstein's arrest and subsequent incarceration in 2019, Hoffenberg, having served 18 years in prison, alleged that Epstein had in fact been the true mastermind behind the entire scheme. Boom. What? What? So they're trying to say that Epstein was the mastermind behind the whole scheme. So when questioned about his silence on Epstein's involvement, Hoffenberg claimed that Epstein had significant sway within the United States Department of Justice, further emphasizing you cannot grasp the magnitude of Epstein's controlling effect. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's huge. It is huge. Unless you have a court order or the settlement agreement, a complaint, it must be assumed allegations only. I think it's fascinating. Can't factually rely on. Oh, thank you for telling me that. I guess that's why the victims never got justice. Gotcha. So wait, I want you to see at the end, because I feel like they do give us, I'll show you at the end. So over here, this is Epstein salvages and successfully turns around the New Albany project created by Wexler and Kessler. So again, Wexler is the one with Victoria's Secrets. So sometimes in the early 1980s, so remember in 74, he was 21. So by he was only 27 years old in 1980. So Epstein was introduced to Wexler, the billionaire behind limited brands and Victoria's Secret. Wexler was one of Epstein's earliest confidants and wealthiest clients, and close associates of Wexler found it perplexing that he would so quickly entrust his fortune to a relative newcomer like Epstein. But you guys, if you read all of the documents, it shows that not only did he entrust in Epstein, but he like pretty much gives him like not the key to, but like the key to, for lack of better terms, his entire everything. Like he trusts him with like, I know what it was. He made him, oh, I forget the term for it, not power of attorney, but he made him something to where he was allowed to like make deals on his behalf. It was like a lot. I was like, wait, what? And you have to remember, he's 27 years old. So people familiar with Wexner at the time were probably like, wait, what are you doing? Like you're, you know, and well, we'll see what happens. Hi, Seawoods. Hi, Laura. Welcome in, you guys. Come on in, come on in. Okay, so let's see the next thing that we had here. The next thing I had is on page, I could have just looked at my notes real quick, but by the time I get them, I'll be there. I couldn't believe this. I was like, I have to go live with this. Okay, so this next part, Epstein remains a JPM client while the truth about him comes into the public eye. So the highest reaches of JPM unambiguously knew that Epstein was a convicted S-offender accused of continuing sexual abuse. So in March 2005, press reports emerged reporting that Epstein paid a 14-year-old girl in Palm Beach, Florida for a massage and then molested her. Following the release of these allegations, a number of underage girls, many of them high school students, told police that Epstein also hired them to give sexual massages. Like, what? Are you kidding? And, all right, so look at this. I can't believe I didn't underline that. It says, in July 2006, Epstein was arrested in Palm Beach, Florida, after a grand jury indicted him for soliciting a minor for prostitution, which I would argue a minor can't consent, especially under the age of 15. So I don't know that I'd call it prostitution. I think here they should be calling it like CSAM. So JPM, including Stanley, and all right, so this Stanley guy comes up a lot. He comes up a lot in the next document. Okay, the Stanley person. Okay, they were, what am I doing over there? They were immediately aware that Epstein's arrest and his pedo. Okay. Boom. For instance, on August 27, 2006, Stanley emailed Rhodes last night went to the Huggy Bear concert. The age difference between husbands and wives would have fit well with Jeffrey. What a joke. Okay? Come here, Thor, go lay down. Allie, go lay down. Epstein's arrest received national news coverage, leaving no doubt about the heinous nature of his crimes. For instance, on September 3rd, 2006, the New York Times reported, in the summer and autumn of last year, when most of the mansions here stood empty behind their towering hedges, the police stealthily watched one at the end of the Waterside Lane. They monitored the comings and goings of its owner's private jet, subpoenaed his phone records, and rifled through his trash. The owner was Jeffrey Epstein, 53, an intensely private New York money manager with several billionaire clients. Months earlier, the stepmother of a 14-year-old girl told the Palm Beach police that the wealthy older man, whom the girl later identified as Mr. Epstein, might have had inappropriate sexual contact with her. In a sworn statement to the police, the 14-year-old and other teenage girls said a friend had arranged for them to visit Epstein's home and give him massages, usually in their underwear, in exchange for cash. Like, gross. Oh my gosh, my dogs literally wait until I go live to want to go out again. And I let them out like 45 times before I went live so that they didn't do this. Come on, hurry up. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry about that. So annoying. Okay. Next, we have, hi, just me. Yeah, just me. I want to throw up too, right? It's so gross. So next it says, most of the girls, according to the police, said Mr. Epstein had masturbated during the massages, and few said he had penetrated them with his fingers or penis. They identified him in photos and accurately described the inside of his home. Some recall that its employees had fed them snacks or rented them cars. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. So then, if we keep going, let's see, was there anything else in this one? I think there is. So I read all of this for us, you guys. So, okay, they say that, oh, this was gross. So this next part talks about, despite recognizing it, Stanley continued to disregard the danger of Epstein. The next day, in December 2009, Epstein sent pictures of young women to Stanley, to which Stanley responded with cryptic commentary. Stanley again visited Little St. James the following month in January 2010. Later that year, in July 2010, Stanley had the following exchange with Epstein via email, strongly suggesting that Epstein was procuring victims for Stanley. So here goes the alleged conversation. Stanley says, maybe they're tracking you. That was fun. Say hi to Snow. And Epstein says, what character would you like next? Stanley says, Beauty and the Beast. Epstein says, well, one side is available. Also, in July 2010, a news article from the Daily Beast reported that since the release from jail, Epstein had settled more than a dozen lawsuits brought on by underage girls. And at least 7 victims received well over $1 million. That's huge. Right? That's huge. Oh, it also alleged that Epstein involved Eastern European women in particular that had a modeling agency he helped fund, which brought young girls from Eastern Europe to the United States on Epstein's private jets. And then it suggests that JPM was aware of the allegations. That's the board that they talk about earlier. In December 2010, JPM granted Epstein a $50 million line of credit. And then the next year, they granted him another one. I was like, oh, what am I doing wrong in life? I need to be borrowing money. I don't know. Then it says, just 1 month later, the private bank that Duffy reauthorized Epstein to borrow up to $50 million against his accounts. That's $100 million. I mean, I guess when you're Epstein, that's not a ton of money, but that's a lot of money. Okay, this next part. Oh, thank you, Northern Fights. Yay. Okay, you say, explaining what a complaint is has nothing to do with why victims were denied justice. Accuracy matters in law and science, kind of cheap shot. I think I agree about the accuracy. You know, I think the comment you were thank you so much. That was so generous of you. I am so appreciative. You have no idea. Here, let me put this up on the stream so everybody sees. So I think, oh yeah, I guess I don't know what the victims were denied justice would have been in reference, like how that would have. So, thank you for explaining what a complaint is. I'm glad that we have somebody on here that can. I can do the science part, right? But I don't know the law part at all. So that's why I am so grateful for you guys that do understand the law. Travis is usually in here, so I usually call on him. So now I know that I could call on you too. I think that's amazing that you explained what a complaint was. To me, these are court documents, so that's all I know it as. And I think that it is important to know the difference between different types of court documents. So I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for saying that. And I appreciate all of your comments, you guys. We all have, opinions. I do think that the victims being denied justice, I think if you read just these 2 80-page documents that I read today, you'll see that a lot of it was like people turned a blind eye to Epstein, in my opinion. Like, and again, I don't know, I guess if I were putting myself in their shoes, which I'm trying to do, how many people do we really know or, would do the things that Epstein did? So I could see how somebody might not, like, why would somebody think that? Like, but if you saw like the things and you knew if you were one of the people that were like, oh, Jeffrey would have loved these girls, they're young, like, then that means you knew, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't say that everybody knew. Wait till you guys hear this one. You ready for this? Talking about the law. Ready? In January 2014, JPM settled 2 felony violations. So that if they settled 2 felony violations, then that means it's done, right? So it's not alleged. I'm asking. Northern Fight's not telling, I'm asking. In January 2014, JPM settled 2 felony violations of the BSA with the Department of Justice stemming from its failure to alert authorities to suspicious activity after red flags about Bernie Madoff's illegal conduct were raised at the bank. As part of the settlement agreement, JPM agreed to pay $1.7 billion in penalties. Federal prosecutors noted that the Madoff Ponzi scheme was conducted almost exclusively through various accounts held by JPM. In fact, in the early 2010s, JPM's Board of Directors Risk Committee lacked any directors who had worked at a bank or as financial risk managers. Wow. That's crazy, you guys, right? So they also had to pay $350 million to compliance programs, and it was based on their failure to report suspicions. Oh my God. So the penalty was based on their failure to report suspicions about Bernie Madoff to U.S. law enforcement and regulators. So you guys, just in this one document, we have like allegations of ties to Bernie Madoff, Iran-Contra, being Jeffrey Epstein's mentor, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. Oh, Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein allegedly working as spies for the Israeli government. Like, it just keeps going on. Ghislaine's dad is working as a spy for the Israeli government. That's all just in this one document. So the following Monday, June 12, 2023, JPM announced that it had settled the... Okay, so there was a Jane Doe allegation. All right, so wait, let me back up a second. So there's a Jane Doe allegation stemming out of the U.S. Virgin Islands. I said Virginia Islands, Virgin Islands. So here, that's what this is, United States Virgin Island action. So a Jane Doe sued here and was awarded $290 million. The settlement, if approved by the court, would be one of the largest ever for a civil sex trafficking case. Executives at the highest reaches of the company were aware of the facts. It is indisputable that Stanley, who, that's the one that I was saying, remember his name, who allegedly participated personally in Epstein's S-ring, and Erdos were aware of the allegations levied against Epstein, as was Cutler, the general counsel who ferociously advocated for JPM to serve ties with Epstein. Moreover, it is inferable from the company's own documents that Diamond personally reviewed Epstein's account in 2008 and decided to retain him as a JPM client. So let me tell you what this is. Diamond, what's his first name? His first name is, hold on, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, his last name's Diamond, and apparently he's like the bigwig. And in one of the documents I was reading, because I did read more than these two documents, these are just the two that I brought to us tonight. But in the one document, it was talking about how this Diamond guy, you know, they were like, they didn't know if he ever personally looked at Epstein's documents and stuff, or like his finances. And apparently here it says allegedly that not only did he, but he reviews them in 2008 and decides to retain him as a JPM client. There's just so much shadiness, I can't even tell you. Let's see. Okay, then over here, one of the last things I have, plaintiff's claims are timely is the name of the title. As discussed above, despite knowing Epstein was a felon convicted for sexual abuse, a pedophile who allegedly trafficked young girls from all over the world, including on his private plane, and wired and withdrew large sums of cash from his JPM accounts, the company failed to file a single SAR concerning Epstein and his accounts. So the company, such as Diamond, Stanley, and or Erdos actively concealed concerns about Epstein and failed to report them to the board or to timely fire Epstein as a client. So that's what like the claim was there. And then let's see, jury demand. So it says plaintiffs demand a trial by jury. And then, oh, here we go, verification. And it's verified there. And then over here is another verification. And that's it for that particular slide or document. So let me stop sharing this one. Okay, you guys. So what do you think so far? What are you thinking? Oh my God, Cuffy is going to be so mad. She probably fell asleep. This is so crazy. In my opinion, everyone knew what was happening and just didn't care. Unfortunately, Casey, I agree. Or not that I wouldn't say that they didn't care. It's all right, Rye. Not that I would... Oh, this is what they do every night. All right, hold on, you guys. Let me try to get them. Well, the girls aren't going to help me, so... Oh my goodness. My one dog comes in and the other one was right at the door and decided to turn around and like run away. Oh, not like run away, but like run away from me. So what do you guys are saying? Yes, this is crazy. Oh, yes, they do. You're right, Harlot. Does anyone think he's still alive? What do you guys think? I mean, I wouldn't say that it's impossible, but do you guys know Dr. Michael Baden? He used to be like on the shows. I almost said the programs. I just almost sounded like a really old lady. But he used to be on like the cable back in the day a lot, like on like, you know, I don't know, like Nancy Grace and stuff. Well, he's like a really good medical examiner, and apparently he did an outside examination of Epstein, and although he disagreed with the causes or like the exact story that they said, he still didn't allege that he didn't see a deceased body, if you will. So I don't know. This is the thing. The reason I'm saying that I think, so Casey said if he is gone, that she thinks that, it was done to him, not that he did it himself. This is my thing though, you guys. I would try to remind you that we're looking at antisocial, sadistic, narcissistic behavior patterns here, in my opinion. So with that being said, we have to, when we looked at the island the other day, the little St. James Island, one of the main things that I was noticing in that whole systems thing was that at the top of the system was Jeffrey. He was like the president of his island. And again, although it's still the U.S. Virgin Islands, to him, in his head, he was the main person. Everybody worked for him. Everybody worked to please him. All the things, right? So, when he gets arrested, all of that authority and power gets stripped from him. So once you get arrested, you no longer have any rights. So all of that stuff gets stripped from him. So one of the ways that you regain power or regain your narrative is by doing it yourself. And because in his head, he might have, thought, well, one, he probably thought that he could never last because it would have been the rest of his life, right? Wasn't he how old was he? 60, 70? 70 maybe? He might have been 70. But anyway, he wouldn't have made it out of there. So he probably was thinking of that. They also said that the prison was very dirty and that there were rodents and like roaches and stuff like just crawling around all night, and that at one point he was like rocking or something on like the side of his bed, and he was saying stuff like I can't, or so I forget exactly what he was saying, so I don't want to say what he was saying, but I think it was Dr. G that I saw it, that he said he was rocking back and forth. And he was saying something along the lines of, like, I can't take it in here, or something along those lines. Now, this is the thing. The other reason I think he's probably gone is because think about when you were a teenager and you tried to tell a secret, even as an adult, forget your teenage years. Let's say last week you told one of your friends a secret. The chances of that still being a secret in a few years might be slim, depending on who your friend is, right? So with that being said, the more friends that you tell a secret to, the more chances that you have of somebody telling somebody else, especially if that secret is salacious. Because people feel like now they are the keeper of the salacious news that they need to share with somebody, you know, with their best friend, who then might share it with their mom, who shares it with her best friend, like so on and so forth. The thing is, I feel like with a lot of the conspiracies, and again, when I just say conspiracy, I just mean, you know, the alleged things that could have happened, things like that, in different situations. I always feel like if there's a bunch of people that have to be able to keep things a secret for the rest of their lives, I don't see how that's possible. I definitely, human behavior is where I excel, and I can't meet a human being, or at least a group of human beings that, I mean, I can keep a secret, but I think part of that is because of my profession. We have to keep things confidential is what we call it, right? But for most people, especially, like, I don't know, I just think the whole thing is crazy. So, he was calling himself a coward. That's what it was, Casey. He was rocking back and forth, calling himself a coward. That's what I thought. So, I mean, that's what got me thinking back then. I knew that something that Dr. G said had me like, oh, yeah. So, allegedly, a few days before that he does this, he tried and didn't succeed at it. So I remember when I watched that thinking, was he rocking back and forth like you're a coward? Pretty much like you couldn't, like you didn't even do this right, like you weren't able to do this. Hi, Neva. Oh my God, I love that mortician lady. Did she do one on Jeffrey? If so, I need to look at it. She's awesome. Oh my God, did you guys hear the UN Human Rights Council has called for an independent, thorough, and impartial investigation and wants accountability for what's in the Epstein files? Wow. Wow. Casey, you're funny. That's funny. So I want to look up that mortician. She's amazing. But I also want to show you this real quick too. So let me just show you this, and then I could switch over to that real quick. This one won't be, I won't make this too much. Oh wait, it's this one, sorry. Oh no, it's this one. Whoops, playing. Oh wait, was that the exact same one? Is that why? Where's the other one? Hold on. I just had it up. It has to be this one. Let me see. It is. Share this tab and see. Oh no. Okay, you guys, here we go. I'm so sorry. Don't get like sick with me from going back and forth. So this next one is, so we have to go to page 233. So let's see. So we have to go down here a little bit. Let's see, 233. It's down a little further, I think. All right, we're at 207. 227, we're getting closer. Oh, I see it coming, I think. Okay, I think this is it. All right, so here's 232. I was going to say, I feel like there's something back here. There is. Okay. So this next document, I don't even know how I got to this document, you guys, and I'm not even sure exactly what it is. When I go to the very beginning, it doesn't even start with like an opening page that tells you what the document is. It just like starts in like the middle of the document, which I thought was a little bit weird, but you know, whatever, what are you gonna do? So this next one talked about, I feel like there was stuff before this. There is. I could see it right here. And I'm like, I know that there was. I didn't go back too much further because the first beginning of this I felt like was a lot of stuff that we had already heard. Plus there's a ton of redactions. Ton. Look at all these redactions. Oh, it also read, I read this entire document, you guys, and the way it reads at first, it's very confusing. But if anybody goes back and like sees this document or any like it, read the italicized stuff and it'll go much quicker. So for example, right here, if you go to 371, it says Epstein was close friends with Glenn, whatever, the billionaire co-founder of Highbridge and godfather to one of Dubin's children. So then if you read all this stuff in between, it's going to be the same stuff that was in between the one before and the one after. So if you just go to 372, the next thing, Epstein advised JP Morgan regarding the acquisition, and then just skip down to the next one. Epstein also advised regarding the acquisition, and then here you go. And then you would just read like that. So just in case anybody is trying to read this, that would be my advice on how to do so. So this next part, let's see, it's right. I'm getting there. So this next part that I wanted to show you. Oh, this was crazy. In 2019, this person that's mentioned in here was arrested and charged with R of minors and sexual harassment and was under investigation for human trafficking. Like, these are all the people that he associated himself with. So the next thing I had was, I circled, in certain years the U.S. Marshals and Virgin Island officials did not proceed beyond Epstein's dock. If an offender refused entry, the government officials performing the check did not possess authorization to enter. You guys, what? What? And even if you look back here, the address checks are not warrants. Government officials do not possess the ability to enter an offender's property or conduct a search. Okay? How about that? Could you imagine? So they couldn't even do verification checks. So this entire document is related to the Virgin Islands and some of, like, you'll see. So this is part of it. So how they're talking about how U.S. Marshals and the Virgin Island officials could not go past Epstein's dock. So they couldn't even go any closer. Once they said, like, get off my property, that was it. It just ended there. So although Epstein's attorney sought to coordinate with legislators concerning proposed changes to the Virgin Islands laws, the legislature ultimately rejected Epstein's proposed changes. So this next part just tells us that when you go back Ugh. Sorry, you guys. I don't know what just happened. Hopefully we were only off for like a second. Hopefully that was only for a second. Alright, I apologize. Hold on, let me go back to this. Okay, so the only thing I was reading was, so this next part, so we talk about how the United States Virgin Islands, how they decide to change the law, right? However, even though they decided to change the law, the United States Virgin Islands law enforcement agencies never opened an investigation into Epstein. So it's like, wait, what? There's like a million times that I feel like the ball was dropped. Like, I feel like there were so many times, and there's one time in here that I have underlined where it alludes to, like, in one of these court documents where it pretty much alleges that had somebody just told, about what they saw and stuff, had they just allowed them to come on, you'll see, onto the property or whatever, that anything past 2008 would have never happened type thing. Could you imagine if you were one of the victims after 2000? Like, just to hear that, like, I'd be so pissed. Oh my God, I'd be so pissed regardless, but add insult to injury. So here we go. On October 17, 2006, following news of Epstein's arrest for felony solicitation of prostitution under Florida state law, JPMC documented a series of internal discussions about its relationship with Epstein into a rapid response team memorandum. The memorandum states, ready? After internal discussions with Jess Stanley, that's the guy, or Staley, Mary Erdos, that's the other person that we saw the name, Catherine Keaton, John Duffy, I saw his name somewhere, and Mary something. Isn't it funny how Mary, they don't do her name? Well, I wonder why that is. It's decided that we will keep Mr. Epstein solely as a banking client, and on reactive client service basis, we will not proactively solicit new investment business from him. So this pretty much just says we're not going to terminate, even though you're a pedo. We're going to keep you on. And the way that they tried to mitigate it was by saying that we wouldn't seek new investments, but they didn't, but they're, still honoring old investments, which I just thought was so shady. And it winds up going against them. Oh no, Thor. Hold on, you guys. Hold on, Thor. At least he came in this time, you guys. Alright, so back to what I was saying. I apologize. That should be the end of it for the night. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so after Epstein pleaded guilty to state charges for solicitation of prostitution and procurement of a minor for prostitution, JPMC held rapid response meeting to discuss the bank's relationship with Epstein on July 15, 2008. So that just says to me, they decided to keep him as a client. And then when he pleads guilty, they have to go back and like scram around and try to get, scatter everything. So then it says, wait till you guys hear about Epstein's cash usage. Okay? So he had cash transactions and direct and indirect payments to women, which constituted 1% of the nearly $900 million of funds that flowed through his bank accounts between 2003 and 2013. What? That's crazy. That's almost $100 million, you guys. That's a lot of money. Or no, it's not. That would be 10%. My bad. Okay, but still, the point is, that's a lot of money. Just $900 million is a lot of money in itself. We're talking about almost $1 billion there. In 2011, Epstein informed Paul Morris, his private banker at the time, that his cash withdrawals were to pay For fuel expenses, you guys, duh. For his personal airplane and for him to travel to other countries. And they believed him. If you read everything in between, they said that, like John Duffy, his cash withdrawals were for fuel expenses for his personal airplane when traveling to foreign countries. So they pretty much said that they thought that he was telling the truth. So it says, JPMC employees previously had advised Epstein to cease structuring cash withdrawals, ready for how shady this is, below the $10,000 reporting threshold. That's so shady. So he knew, this is the stuff. Remember when I told you the other night that I get mad because I feel like people, like if you don't have it, you don't know about it a lot of the times. Well, this is an example here. So there's a $10,000 reporting threshold. So if you withdraw $9,990, you don't have to report it. So just do that 10 times instead of taking out $100,000. I was like, oh. But they didn't really do anything. They just they just advised him that it's starting to look bad, but they didn't tell him that he had to stop, nor did they terminate him, at least not at this point. So then Duffy believed Epstein's explanations. Here you go, he believed him. That he used the cash withdrawals to purchase aviation fuel. And then this Bonnie testified that Epstein's explanation that he used cash withdrawals to purchase aviation fuel seemed reasonable. And that's what all these people say. So that whole thing was the same thing. It was just person after person saying it was reasonable. Then Dr. Mieleman or whatever, or Orozco, please forgive me for I'm not saying that right, further testified, if you could sort of give me a subset of what you're saying, that it would have corroborated. Because, for example, if you're asking me, would victim payments in cash corroborate an allegation of trafficking, I would say no, that's atypical or inconsistent with trafficking. So you typically would not see that as corroborating piece of evidence. I would typically see that in something that would be used by the other side to show that they were not a victim. What? I guess that's his way of just getting, trying to distance himself from not seeing it for what it was. And then it says, Erdos, so that's that name again, further testified that if she had learned and believed that Epstein was sexually abusing young children, yes, he would be. I would have asked him to exit from the bank. But of course they're going to say that during this. Okay, so this one I put a bunch of colors on, so let's see what this is because it seems important. Let me just make it one thing. There you go. So among the conclusions reached by Ryan in her investigation was that Epstein had sponsored the opening of accounts for 2 adult women, including one described as a willing participant in the recaps of the escapades. You guys, who are these 2 adult women? So, again, her investigation showed that Epstein had sponsored the opening of accounts for 2 adult women, including one described as a willing participant in the recaps of the escapades. So my guess, and again, this is just an alleged guess, this isn't the truth, but the only 2 adult women that I can even tie to him like that would be Ghislaine and the girlfriend that he was going to leave everything to at the end. Who do you guys think? I'm dying to know. Oh, it's so disgusting. And then it says, in opening accounts for blank, JPMC had information regarding her date of birth, her social security number, driver's license number, and home address. And then it says, Ryan also noted that Epstein paid other girls, many models, no huge amounts, and described Epstein as a sugar daddy. Look at that. Ryan testified that she understood the term sugar daddy to mean somebody who likes to spend his money on ladies, but that she did not believe it implied financial support in exchange for sexual behaviors. I guess if I was a lawyer, and I don't know this, I'm just saying. Oh, Fergie? Oh. Okay. I wonder who it was, you guys. So over here, I guess she would have to say this, because if not, that would make her like saying that prostitution is okay. You know what I mean? So I get that. So over here, or maybe they just, I don't know. Anyway, William Langford testified that this activity was in many respects inconsistent with the type of things that we saw in human trafficking. You know, having her own account, providing money, providing documented expenses. The human trafficking enterprises that we were focused on were designed to traffic the individual, keep them down, do business, and keep it off the radar. This was different. I mean, it's petty. I don't like the behavior, but it's different from the typology of human trafficking that we had been focusing on. So I think here, I actually appreciate this honesty, because again, he's pretty much saying here that we were biased and looking for A, B, and C, and it was really D, E, and F type thing. So at least they're saying here that we weren't looking at that. We were looking at it in a different way. Not that it excuses the behavior, but at least it like admits some fault there. Then over here it says Staley, that guy again, testified that he did not observe anything that caused him to question whether Epstein was engaged in trafficking. Staley exchanged suggestive emails with Epstein about women. On August 30th, 2009, Epstein emailed Staley, how long London? Do you need anything there? And then Staley responded, yep. And then it's redacted. And then on December 5th, 2009, Epstein emailed Staley, you were with Larry, and I had to put up with, it says, and attach the following suggestive photograph of a young woman, which they redacted. I put like the big question mark in the star. There's a cigarette standing in your kitchen? Oh my God. You are high, Casey. I'm just joking. Okay, so over here, I wonder, I mean, obviously, I don't care to see the picture, but I'm sure it's of a victim. And then it says that same day, Staley responded to Epstein, writing, don't tell me a blank wine. What could that mean? Don't tell me a blank wine. And then on December 20th, 2009, Epstein emailed Staley the following photograph of another young woman. And again, we have it redacted. Here on June 16th, Staley wrote to Epstein, is she free tonight? Epstein responded, call me. Staley replied, I'm with A. Could A be Andrew? Who's A? On July 9, 2010, Staley emailed Epstein. That was fun. Say hi to Snow, and it's redacted. Epstein responded, what character would you like next? To that, Staley replies, Beauty and the Beast. Epstein responds, well, one side is available. We read that. This document and the document that we just read have small places of crossover, so it's just, the whole thing's crazy. Yes, hit like, you guys, and subscribe. Please do. So next we have, on February 26, 2011, Staley emailed Epstein. Oh, wait till you hear this, you guys. This is so weird. So they were trying to see what the relationship was between Epstein and the Staley person. So it said on February 26, 2011, Staley emailed Epstein calling him family. On March 3rd, 2011, Epstein emailed Staley writing, told you family. Staley responded the same day writing family. On March 4th, 2011, Staley emailed Epstein saying that he counted Epstein as one of our deepest friends and most honest of people. The most honest of people, you guys. Then on March 5th, 2011, Epstein emailed Staley in response calling him family again. On March 7th, 2011, Epstein emailed Staley saying, I forgot to say thanks, family. Do you guys see here? Look, here we go again. On March 10th, Epstein emailed Staley writing, yep, family, don't worry. And then Epstein emails him again saying, dear family member, don't fret. So we have So we have Epstein, all four of them on different days, emailing this daily, each time calling him family. In my opinion, this is such a coercive type thing to do, and it's, it's setting the narrative. Because, right, with family, we can choose our friends, but we can't choose our family. So it's almost like by saying that we're so close that you're my family, it's almost like that gives you a reason to have to stick around. But it's not the other guy that's saying, well, he is saying it, but it's Epstein that's saying it over and over, which just goes to show that he was probably trying to hold on to him for as long as he could. And he even says right here in the last one, "Dear family member, don't fret." Then Sally forwarded the email to so-and-so, writing, "This is from Uncle Jeffrey. Add Lisa Randall at Harvard." So this is from Uncle Jeffrey. Like, what? Ugh. But anyway, so then this... So, all right, so this is what I get from this. So he says Uncle Jeffrey, right? So I was like, okay, so that would mean that it would be Staley's kid that we're talking about if it's going to be Uncle Jeffrey. So then we come down here and it says, Staley forwarded so-and-so's feedback Epstein provided on a draft of her scholarship essay. So I think that he gets Epstein, since they're family, to help with his niece's scholarship essay, right? So here, so then in doing so, Epstein invites the girl to a physics conference in California. I was like, would you ever let your kid go with him? But then again, this guy supposedly says that he thinks he's the most honest guy he's ever met. On September 23rd, 2010, Staley forwarded to Epstein an email from so-and-so, I think this is his daughter, about a professor at Columbia University and asking Epstein if he could get to this professor at Columbia. On September 24, 2010, Epstein responded in a snap. Okay? This is like so unfair to people in academia, I can't even tell you. On November 11, 2010, Epstein emailed Staley in response to an email chain about, and I think that's the daughter's, application to whatever the university is, writing, "She can sit with Richard Axel when I get back. He won a Nobel Prize. He has guaranteed me." Okay? So they're getting guarantees. It's like no wonder why people like us, like, it's like so hard to get into colleges and universities, and so many of them are legacy schools where one person goes and then it goes to like the next generation. But over here, then you have people like Epstein that are making phone calls with nonetheless a Nobel Peace Prize. Like, what? Oh, no, it's not. He won the Nobel Prize. I think I added peace in there. But he has guaranteed me? Like, what? That is so salacious to me. He has guaranteed me. So then it says, okay, wait till you hear this. This next one, I literally was like, I had to take a break because I was having like severe anxiety on this next one. You guys ready for it? And I think it's just because I teach at college and university for 22 years. And I just got my doctorate a year ago. I graduated. But I mean, I've had my master's for the past of my whole life pretty much. But anyway, wait till you hear this one. On January 19, 2011, Staley forwarded Epstein an email exchange between the person's professor regarding her GRE scores not seeming to be a problem according to my sources. Ready for this? On the 19th, that same day, Epstein emails back writing, blank is now 70-30, up from 45-55. What? Is that GRE? Look how small GRE is. GRE, that looks like that would fit right there, right? So what did Epstein do? that he was able to change the GRE. And look how much, like, we're not even talking a little, I mean, like, what is happening? This pissed me off so bad. So your GRE scores, you guys, this is like your SATs for grad school and stuff. Like, you have to do well to even get accepted somewhere, or to even be thought of to get it accepted. So clearly this person's GRE scores, but that also shows you that, like, this person probably graduates at some point, right? Which just goes to show that a lot of it is bullshit to get in, because if this is what you really have and you can graduate with that from whatever university it is that says you need this to attend, then it's like, is it bullshit? I don't know. This whole thing made me so furious, I can't even tell you. So then on December 31st, you guys, okay, while Epstein was incarcerated, Staley made plans to visit him in Palm Beach, Florida. Then it's redacted. And it says on October 30th, so the next year, almost a year later, Staley emails Epstein asking if he could go to Santa Fe, to which Epstein responded, "Not today." That's interesting. Not today. So then on November 1st, I guess 2 days later, Staley emails Epstein writing, "So when all hell breaks loose and the world is crumbling, I will come here and be at peace. Presently, I'm in the hot tub with a blank of blank wine." So do you guys remember earlier when I said, what was he saying when he said something wine? I think that's the same thing here. So he said, "I'm in the hot tub with a blank of blank wine." This is an amazing place, truly amazing. Next time we're here together, I owe you much, and I deeply appreciate our friendship. I have you so profound. So this guy's like literally professing his friendship. Then he says on January 8, 2010, Epstein emailed Staley about a visit to his private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, writing, "My car and driver, former DEA armed, will pick you up in St." and I think that's St. James, I guess. "We have all on-field permits. Helicopter also available for a tour around. Remember, I own the two big marinas, Yacht Haven Grand in St. I guess that's also James, I'm not sure, and the marina in Red Hook. You can use my ATVs, jet skis, gym, etc. I will organize the harbor at Norman Island if you would like, in the Beeville, as well as lunch at Ghana." Like, what? Yes, exactly. Well, just well. Wait, Cuffy says, "I feel like he was simply based on some of the group pics." So what did Harlan say? "I wonder if Epstein was sharing our government secrets with others." Oh, absolutely, in my opinion. If you guys, Cuff you, I don't know if you were like here, I don't know when I said it, but there's like a link that we have to go to or whatever, but it's, I don't know that it takes us to anywhere though. I feel like I clicked on it and it didn't take me anywhere, but I still want to try again. But it alleges that Epstein and Ghislaine were spies for Iran, and that Epstein was behind Iran-Contra. Like, there's so much in that document I read first that I can't even tell you. And I think it's so interesting, too, that they meet because her dad is like a mentor to Jeffrey. Like, what the heck? And then says that he wants him to be his son-in-law. Like, what? Let's see. No, did you guys ever see that kid's video who went on Epstein's island? No, how would I find it? Well, let me know and I'll look it up. How do I find it? How do I find it? Oh, there's 2 videos now? Oh. Cuffy, can you put or somebody, Harlot or someone, put the link in the chat and I'll click on it and see what it is. But real quick, just to, because we're almost finished with this part. On January 8th, I read that part. On January 22nd, Staley emailed Epstein about a visit to Epstein Island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, writing, "What a paradise. When I retire, I'm going to put a mooring in front of your dock for my boat." Okay? Amazing place. And then it says Staley shared confidential information with Epstein. Here we go, Harlot. Isn't that what you just said? Oh my God. Someone or whoever just said, I wonder if he shared. Staley shared confidential information with Epstein. On multiple occasions, Staley shared with Epstein confidential information about transactions the bank was structuring or exploring. He discussed the confidential status of other clients at the bank with Epstein. He also shared information protected by attorney-client privilege about Epstein's ongoing litigation against JPMC, so that's JP Morgan Chase, with Epstein. Staley kept Epstein informed about the status of the bank's investigation into the allegations against him. Jess Staley vouched for Epstein on multiple occasions by telling other JP Morgan Chase executives and employees that Epstein was not engaged in criminal conduct. Ooh, what did I just hit? 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this was again when he gets arrested for procurement of a minor for prostitution. Epstein didn't do it, he says. He shouldn't have pled guilty, okay? Etc. Wasn't responsible for it. And that Epstein's lawyers were working to get the guilty plea thrown out. All right? So that's what they were trying to say that Jess Staley felt. So apparently he felt that he was not guilty. But also you couldn't, I mean, what if he also engaged in that allegedly? You know what I mean? You could see why he might then say that, because he's not going to want to be associated with the same thing. So here we have Stephen Cutler, who's JP Morgan Chase's former general counsel. He testifies that Staley told him that Epstein had turned a page, paid his debt to society, turned a corner, and was on the straight and narrow. And then it says Stephen Cutler relied on Jess Staley's views in evaluating the bank's relationship with Epstein because Staley was a respected member of the operating committee and knew Epstein. So you guys, right there, like they were saying earlier, that Epstein was able to get $50 million advances and $50 million lines of credit, and they redid it the next year and stuff. And all of it is all based off of like lies and stuff. But then it makes you think, like, how many other elites out there do the same type of thing? I don't mean like the big allegations. I'm talking about like the financial loopholes and stuff that there are, like that stuff. Like how many people do these things that ultimately help advance them, but like do so at our expense? Like none of us are getting these breaks. You know what I mean? We were all just talking about like subsidies the other night, or like not subsidies, like what's it called, like insurance and stuff like that. We're like, and these people over here are like beating the system, and here we are paying all of our taxes and doing all the things, and it's just so annoying. It's so annoying to me. All right, let's see. January 11th, rapid response meeting. Employees with JP Morgan Chase Private Bank discussed the Epstein relationship with Staley, who spoke to Epstein about the media allegations, which Epstein claimed were without merit. So now what they're going to try to say is that, oh, wait till you see this next part. Now what they're going to try to say is that because Epstein said that there was no merit, and, you know, it's news media, they get things wrong, that they didn't like do an investigation because they didn't take it as if it was like credible. So then on March 7th, ready for this one? Stephen Cutler emailed Jonathan something asking if he spoke to Staley about Ken Starr's best friend. I was like, Ken Starr, like the names just keep going. That same day, Jonathan whatever replied yes and didn't get anything back from him, so I just called him again. He said he'll call Epstein and get me a live name and number for a current lawyer. Like, what? Oh, the next part was about the FBI reopening its investigation in Daily Mail and New York Post over the weekend, and guilt by being friend stories about Prince Andrew and former President Clinton. Ain't great, is what it says. And I think that's exactly what we all said when we looked at it, right? It ain't great. All right, let's see. What do we have here? What do we have here? Oh, wait, we got the video? Okay, I'm going to click on it in a minute. Oh yeah, is it the same one? I'll have to look. The one I'm talking about is from a while ago. It's been a while since I've seen it. Alright, well, we're going to see if this is it. Or the one that you find. So I'll just finish this up in the meantime. So you guys, Ken Starr's best friend, like what? So then on or about March 22nd, 2011, Jonathan whatever spoke to the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, who did not disclose any investigation into Epstein. So this next part, it just keeps showing how nobody was investigating him at all. Let's see here. Oh, this next one. JP Morgan Chase also reached out to the FBI to ask for contact at the agency who may have been working on any ongoing investigation into Epstein. The FBI never returned the phone call. And then it says, currency transaction reports related to Epstein. Between 2002 and 2013, JP Morgan Chase filed approximately 150 CTRs related to Epstein and his accounts, in which JP Morgan Chase identified its relationship with Epstein, flagged his large cash withdrawals. Would that be like his credit transaction receipts or whatever? What could that be, you guys? Credit transaction receipt? That's what I'm guessing. If I was like going a guessing game, that would be it. Alright, then it says, okay. Well, we know what the large withdrawals were for, so I don't do that. Remember, it was for paying off females, but he tried to say that it was for fuel for his airplane and for when he visits other countries. You guys, this whole next, like, many pages, dozen or so pages, are all redacted. And then JP Morgan Chase exited Epstein as a client. So this next part just talks about how the one person testifies that they recommended exit, and then it says, in explaining the factors that went into Epstein's exit in 2013, Pern testified a number of factors in no particular order. There was continued negative media that the line of business and the risk department continued to see. There was continued cash and wire activity in many of Epstein's accounts. There was, I'll say, a long-time view of many of the people in line of business in the risk and compliance organization that Mr. Epstein should be exited or should have been exited, as I'm sure we'll cover. And Jess, or whatever, however you say it, Stanley, was no longer at the bank. And I'd say the last thing was, at the time, the industry, the regulatory environment, had changed. JP Morgan had received AML consent orders earlier in 2013, along with a number of other banks. The regulatory view of the bankroll in combating money laundering, terrorist financing was or had changed. And as part of that, our institution was looking for our portfolio or our book of high-risk clients and taking a fresh look at whether or not we should maintain those relationships. So a number of factors. So I wanted to make sure I added that because I keep saying all the Epstein stuff, and I want to make sure that I give the defense, what they said. And I mean, that they did eventually cut ties with him. So then on July 19th, again on my daughter's birthday, but a different year, how weird is that? John Duffy emailed Mary Erdos, so these are two names we saw earlier, a draft of talking points to communicate the bank's decision to exit Epstein as a client. Duffy wrote, first, the repetitive nature of your cash transactions is a problem for us and our relationship with you. 2, the regulatory standards in the banking industry continue to evolve with very low tolerance for cash activity when combined with your personal history. 3, so, given the intersection of these circumstances, we are in a uniquely challenging situation. Remediation is required, and we need to ask you in an orderly manner to find another bank for your needs. Boom. Boom, you guys. It's almost done. On August 14, 2013, John Duffy emailed Justin Nelson writing, thanks. He and I spoke as well about his advisory business and whether or not we could work with him. I said yes, as long as we're not transacting to Jeffrey Epstein's accounts. On September 13, 2013, John Duffy emailed Justin Nelson regarding a request from Epstein for more credit, writing, the answer needs to be no, followed by this is a great opportunity to move forward with your new bank. Damn. But do you guys see how shady that is? So he literally said that I told him that it should be fine as long as we're not transacting in Jeffrey Epstein's accounts. And then the very next month, it's just saying that Epstein's still calling the shots just from a different account. I was like, that was shady. Next we have, on September 20th, 2013, John Duffy emailed Mary Erdos about Epstein, writing, spoke with him, good conversation, told Jeffrey Epstein, no on sole trustee or power of attorney, yes for advisory role with discretion, yes for custody in the client's name. Tough one. He brought up regarding Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, and JPM as co-trustees. While I expect that this would be hard to get through, it's like co-branding with him. We should still discuss it. Let's talk. He understood. JP Morgan Chase. So you guys, it's like they say one thing and then they say something else. So now it's like, okay, well, if it's, Gates, JE and JPM as co-trustees, like that's like co-branding, just meaning, okay, that means that you're just doing it with a different name. Hi, you two bad actors. What are you doing up? I'm happy you're up. I'm just asking what you're doing up. Okay, so next we have Jeffrey Epstein received $15 million fee for his work in connection with that transaction. So wait, let me back up real quick. It said JP Morgan Chase did not knowingly benefit from an S-trafficking venture. Jamie Dimon, that's the name. How did I forget the first name? Remember earlier, I was like, something Diamond. I didn't even realize it was Jamie. I'll never forget that again. What a cool name. That's like a adult film name. I'm just joking. Jamie Dimon testified that he did not recall any involvement on Epstein's part in JP Morgan Chase's acquisition of Highbridge Capital Management, LLC, and that he was not informed that Jeffrey Epstein received a $15 million fee for his work in connection with that transaction. Like, are you kidding? It says financial trust company. Look, Epstein's company, Financial Trust Company, had been retained as a consultant. So the company received $15 million fee. Like, what? Oh my God. Epstein did not receive a fee in connection with their acquisition on whatever. It says, let me keep going. Do I have anything else here? Yes. So based upon the available facts, this investigation is closed and nothing further is deemed necessary. Then it says, summary judgment cannot enter on J.P. Morgan Chase's affirmative defenses. So it says, A, Epstein made payments to the United States Virgin Islands officials and entities. On December 21st, 2017, Epstein wrote to Don Henry of the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Planning and Natural Resources that he had given $25,000 to the Home for Girls in Crocs and asked Henry for suggestions on where he could donate. On December 27, 2017, Epstein directed Richard Kahn, Epstein's accountant, to write a $25,000 check from Southern Trust Company to the DPNR for donation to a public library. She additionally wrote to Epstein, if you prefer to donate to school libraries, I can connect you with the Commissioner of Education. Either way, the territory wins. So then, the U.S. Virgin Island government reviewed its corporative sponsors after it emerged that Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted offender, gave gifts to school pupils and financed events for young children. Epstein provided funding for a science fair for children in grade school in the U.S. Virgin Islands, run by the U.S. Virgin Island Department of Education. He also specifically paid for travel and accommodations for prize-winning children to attend the science fair in St. James Island? I would die if it is. Probably is. Oh. Epstein provided funding for a summer camp for children with intellectual disabilities through his USVI-based corporations. Epstein funded a prize for winners of a school essay writing competition. Epstein paid for computers to be given to two 14-year-old students attending high school in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Of course he did. Epstein purchased Kindle e-readers for use by a school library. Epstein purchased over 100 Microsoft Surface tablets for use by children in U.S. Virgin Island schools. Epstein provided funding through his U.S. Virgin Island businesses for a basketball tournament in the U.S. Virgin Islands, which included children as young as 6. Blech. Okay? That's crazy. Hi, Glenn. How you doing? Come on in. Hi, Birdie. Good to see you guys. But you guys, isn't that gross? So let me go to that thing that you guys have. Hold on. Let me see. Let me stop this. Let's see. Hi guys and girls. How you doing? Alright, let me see. Let me get to that link. Hold on, I'm really far back. Really far back. Oh wait, here we go. I see one. Oh no, that's not it. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize there were so many chats. Oh wait, here we go. Here's one of them. Okay, so
that's me stepping foot on Jeffrey Epstein's private island.
So I was going to say let's preface this, but I don't know how to. So this is Nico Greg. We're going to subscribe. He has 3.48 million subscribers. Wow. So we're going to like this too, because 2 of our mods seen it. And let's do it. So everybody go like and subscribe and all the things. Oh wait, let me see something real quick. Let me make sure that on the... See, I'm so glad I looked. Because it wasn't there. Here we go, here we go. Alright, now it's there, or should be there. Alright, it is. Alright, let's see. Let's do it like this so that we can make it bigger. I'm stopping my video for a minute while we watch this. I'm going to make this bigger here, and let's do it. So again, everyone go like and subscribe. I snuck into Jeffrey Epstein's island, and the link's in the chat, and I'll make sure I put it in the description box after the live.
To Little St. James, one of the most restricted places in the world, surrounded by conspiracies, investigations, and unanswered questions.
What do you know? Who are these people, bro? Coastal Guard! Go, go, go!
There are only a handful of people who have actually made it onto Epstein Island. Today, my only goal is to make it on the island undetected. In 2023, billionaire Stephen Deckoff purchased Little St. James, and now he plans on turning it into an adult-only resort. This guy was definitely boys with Epstein. But the island is now filled with security 24/7, so this is not gonna be easy. And to make it even harder, I'm only gonna be in the Virgin Islands for 48 hours, and that gives me 2 days to pull this off. That's more than enough. Let's go.
Excuse me.
I'm here for Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh my God.
Almost 9 a.m. We are in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and we're here for one reason and one reason only. JC, Matt.
Hey guys.
Matt, we gotta get up.
Oh
You ready for Epstein or what, kid?
Sure is good, isn't it? Life sure is good.
Oh my God, they're really going to get onto the island? That's crazy. So anybody that's just coming in, why didn't it like it? There we go. Anybody coming in, this guy gets onto the island. Apparently there's all kinds of security.
Sundial, JC, look. That's actually the one that's on Epstein's Island right there. It's on our neighbor's balcony. How are you?
What's happening?
We're going to Epstein's Island.
Oh man, I've been there.
What? We heard that right. I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that I'm able to step foot on the island. No thinking, just doing 2026. Now, the first part of my plan was to fly my drone and scope out Little St. James from a distance. I'm pushing it forward right now. We're going as far as we can out. So this is Great St. James right here. That temple, people think satanic rituals go on inside it, which maybe it does, or maybe it leads to an underground railroad. But my theory is that he put it there for show. It's just a concrete block to make it look like it was an actual resort. Oh, I'm starting to lose signal.
I wonder if they have signal blockers.
They do. There's a boat right outside the island. I don't know if that's a
What do you guys think that building was?
patrol or if that's a tourist.
Hey, our neighbor's in the Epstein files.
Yeah, the person who sleeps next to us, he was in the Epstein files.
Oh man, I've been there.
Yeah, I can put you on video too. You're on videotape right now.
Yeah, and I can do the same thing to you.
Well, guess what? He's videotaping us.
Yeah. Oh, and I can videotape you.
Oh my God.
Whoa. Oh, that was aura.
There he is. Big Roy.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Roy, can you just take us to the beach?
The second part of this plan was to have our driver Roy take us to the nearest jet ski rental spot. And we were not keeping any secrets. We told Roy exactly what we were doing. We could get a view of Epstein Island. Our plan is to take the jet skis.
Oh, you want to take the jet ski?
We want to go on it.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Enter in at your own risk.
You think he's alive?
I personally feel that he's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's interesting, you guys. So locals, or at least this one, feels that he's still alive.
If I was lucky enough to meet him, I would have talked to him and tell him, Jeffrey, you need to stop that.
You think he would have listened?
I don't know, but I would have still tell him, I tell him that that's trouble, Jeffrey. Let's go to this club and bring... Actually going to try to find some gold now.
There's a metal detector or a vacuum?
Maybe, I don't know. I got some of the Navy guys said they want to know if they could do some jet skiing. I'm going to let you guys go, right? When you get over there, if everything is okay, just call me on the phone and tell me I could leave.
Okay. All right, thank you. Once Roy dropped us off at the jet ski spot, we quickly realized there was no one there because it was about to rain. I'm starting to lose hope. If it starts raining, then we're cooked. This fella is nice enough to call the jet ski people for us to see if they're available.
Guys, you guys close because of the weather pretty bad out there.
Oh. Thank God Roy didn't leave us. Look at him.
Hey John, if you're watching, just know this entire time we were with Roy, I'm wishing it's you. John, I miss you so much. I miss your big John. I love you so much.
Together as a team. Oh, Roy knocked out. Roy knocked out. Roy knocked out. Roy knocked out. Roy knocked out.
Roy!
Yeah, so jet ski said it was too windy, too rainy.
The water is too choppy.
How cool was this guy that he waited for them? That was so nice.
You're going to be in for the ride of your life.
Well, this is not looking too good. Jet skis in rough water is our only chance right now. Thank you, Roy. You're awesome.
I want to see you guys be happy.
I want
Go
to
on
see
the
you be
Epstein
happy.
Island. Start digging. Gotta get home.
Yeah, we gotta dig.
Gotta dig to find the files so you can see all the names of all the guys.
How did you know we have to
wow.
dig? They have underground tunnels. Are you on the list?
My name? I'm known for ups.
We are so unprepared. I forgot my ID when I left.
Like we should have thought like
Yeah. There's one jet
Is there
ski.
one jet ski there?
Wow, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna go talk to the jet ski people.
Okay, go.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you guys have Jesse's available for tonight?
Not right now. It's a long way.
How far are we able to go with Jesse's?
White House.
Are you able to get a good view at Great St. James or not?
No, early in the day I would probably take them on a tour. I would have my money, but it'd be a different price. But
Can we do that tomorrow?
Tomorrow we could do it. We set up tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yeah.
Can we see Little St. James too?
I'm thinking right by FC Island. Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. So it's 800 for everyone to go.
All right. See you tomorrow. No problem. 5 o'clock tomorrow? Gotcha. My name is Eric. We'll be here. Eric.
All right, thank you.
We'll be here.
Shout out to Eric.
Dude, that's so not like, dude, think about it. We're
Oh my
like
God.
stressing, like, bro, how
Yeah.
So wait, let's see. Oh my god, the guy stayed with them. I love this guy.
featuring a bespoke metallic teal camper shell designed for the open road.
Yeah, you are. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, right, I guess we'll see.
Tomorrow what?
12 we have to be there.
Only that for 12.
So we up at
Still
11.
call it 11:45.
Oh my god, look at this.
you love YouTube Shorts. Hopefully he's here. Let's see.
Also have a great day.
So
Eric
he
told you I
came
made her
and
know.
picked
I was
him
like,
up the next
He was
day.
just saying how it was going to go well.
I'm manifesting. Wow, it can't just get handed to us this easy.
Yes, he can.
No, cannot. It's starting to downpour right now.
Alright, let's see. Oh
Dude, it's freezing. I'm trying to get some cover. The rain is getting bad, bro.
no, of course it rains. That might help.
Sun is coming back out. Looking like we will be able to sneak onto Epstein Island today.
Oh wow.
You're following me single file. Okay.
The waves are gonna be bad. There's a chance one of us flips our jet skis and we don't make it out today. No troll.
Once I get there, I'm digging. I need to f***ing dig, bro. I was told to dig, and I'm going to dig. I could not sleep last night, bro. I just was remembering 3 things. Eric, 12 p.m., $800. We're down to just 24 hours left here in the Virgin Islands, which means we have 1 more day to sneak on the island, and the chance is now.
What? What do you want? I'm waiting. What do I?
Oh my gosh.
These are probably the biggest waves I've ever seen.
Alright, let's go forward a little.
Right, should let the instructor lead us. Oh, there you go.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
Yo, I'm really looking at it, bro. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Bro, this is crazy. What's that island? You can go up. Looks religious. Not getting flicked up in front of Epstein crib is crazy. We see the island clearly, right there.
Oh my god.
Not finished.
I wonder if they get caught.
Can't believe I'm doing this, bro. Holy.
Yeah, let's see.
Who are these people, bro? What do you know?
What do you know?
Oh, they're calling the cops.
Meanwhile, it looked like those people were like in their bathing suits going.
That lady's still looking, bro. She's taking pictures of us. I gotta say cheese. Oh, you see him breaking this flip. No.
He did just flip.
The Coastal Guard. Go, the Coastal Guard. Go.
Oh, maybe they didn't get on the island.
What the fuck? There's like 3 of them. Go. Hurry up.
Let's see what happens.
He kept stopping.
Wow, other Eric's gonna be us.
And Roy.
Roy's
I'm
not.
gonna be out there and say it.
Roy's not.
Dude,
He's us, but
He's
Roy's consensually. We like the f***ing. We love it. We like getting f***ed by Roy.
So if you're just coming in, these guys are trying to get onto Epstein's island.
Yeah, I'm saying for all of us, we like getting f***ed by Roy. I'm so gay, bro. What do you want us to like? No.
I got a DM. Hello, I work at Little St. James. Saw you today, and if you try to come on, we will have you arrested and detained.
Shut the f up. Yo.
Someone knows we're trying to go back. I don't know who it is.
they took photos of us. That's some sketchy shit.
Should I respond?
Oh my god, you guys, would you be so scared if somebody just texted your phone while you were there?
Oh,
You're too scared.
Oh, word. Respond back tomorrow.
I won't send it.
send it. You won't. You won't. You wouldn't send it.
I told him see you tomorrow.
The day has come to an end. We have less than 13 hours left in the Virgin Islands.
I'm sitting here on the beach looking out at Epstein Island.
my
It's
God.
right over there.
We're gonna wake up at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Our flight is at 2 p.m. So we have a 4-hour window to sneak onto this island. I genuinely did not think this video would be this hard to do, but I guess it makes sense. It's like one of the most secretive spots in the US right now. Yeah, we were just super down bad tonight. The boys almost took a raft, an inflatable raft from Walmart in
Oh my
pitch
God.
black dark, which would
Alright, let's go further a little bit.
the airport to make our flight. If we miss our flight, that gives them enough time to track us down and keep us here. So we have 5 hours remaining to do this. It all comes down to this right now. JC's not gonna.
Hold on. I've never driven a jet ski.
Joe, no.
Alright, let's go a little bit forward.
Oh, they're
I'm
gonna-
dying
Yeah, we're just tourists.
if they make it. Right here they go, they're going around again.
Do you know anything about what, like the Epstein Island and what's going on over there?
No.
What do you think would happen if somebody were to try and sneak on it, like, now?
I think that you would get in trouble.
Like, what kind of trouble?
Like,
Arrested for trespassing.
they won't let anybody on that island.
Bro, we're so close to the temple.
Oh my god. That is trespassing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They could do it?
I don't think it would be wise.
Okay.
Asking for trouble.
Let's go close. Yeah, let's go close, but not too close.
Oh my god.
There's a staircase leading somewhere. I'm really, really tempted to walk up it. I just don't know how I would get on the island right now. Besides swimming, but there's a lot of sea urchins around here. Dude, this is insane, bro. Oh my god. What am I looking at? Epstein could literally be right there, bro. That staircase looks ominous. We're pretty close to like waist height.
Oh my god.
If someone were to try and sneak on it today, do you think they could do it?
Oh, yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way. It would be
Where there's a will,
tough,
there's a way.
but where there's a will, there's a way.
I'd love to hear that. Thank you. He believes in them. I know they're on that island right now. Where are you, Epstein?
Oh my god. You guys.
Oh,
Actually?
Security.
Yeah, we can do it, but I want to get closer.
Wow, these guys are crazy. Stepping on sea. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't know if that's rocks or sea urchins. Oh my god, I'm on it now.
Oh, that's crazy.
I hope they're doing well right now, man.
Oh, that is crazy.
Hey, bro. Oh.
You got on, man.
Oh, this is I can tell. Hands are bleeding.
I think I see them pulling up right now.
We gotta get them on. He's got a sea urchin on his foot. Yeah. So what we got here? What happened?
Job not finished.
Job not finished. What happened? Let me see what happened. Sea urchin where?
Is that sea urchin?
Yeah, just piss on it. Nico's absolutely riddled in sea urchins.
I got sea urchins, bro. I jumped off the jet ski. I seen the beach. I was like, I'm doing it.
Forgot to warn you about that.
Bye, Roy.
I forgot to warn you about that shit he said.
Ever since I got home from filming this video, there have been suspicious vehicles parked outside my house almost every single day. But the only thing I can think about is I could have made it further on the island. I was stepping on sea urchins for like a minute before I realized my feet were bleeding. And even when I realized, I still had to push through just to get at least one step on that island. I lost at least 20 HP from doing that, but it was so worth it because I got on the island. I could say that. Oh yeah, and the guy who DM'd me acting like he worked on Little St. James, he told me pranked, got my goat to respond, LOL, big fan. And then he asked for an unemployed hoodie, so I sent him one. This hoodie's now...
Oh my god, you guys, that was crazy. I can't believe he got on the island. Actually, I can believe it. That was crazy. Very interesting. Okay, you guys, so that's what I had for you tonight. I think it was really interesting, at least. Right? That was, the whole thing was interesting. That first document that we read over, oh my god, there were so many things in there, from Iran Contra to, oh my god, so many things. So many things. One of the biggest things for me, though, is that they met through Ghislaine's dad. I was like, what? So I thought that was crazy. Yes, Wendy, it does feel like he thought he was going to be, like, president of the world, but I think the fact that he felt like he was president of those two islands type thing, that, like, fed his need. It's, the whole thing's gross. His, like, need for power and authority, right? And, like, how many people do you know own an island, let alone two of them? So it's like, I think he was just very superficial in that sense, in my opinion. But I think it obviously was, you know, if I'm the president of my island, I can do whatever I want in my head, even if that's not the real truth. Perception's reality, even when it's not real. So this whole thing was just crazy tonight. But I am so glad that you all joined me tonight. I appreciate you so much. I know, right? Who goes to the Virgin Islands for 48 hours? Seriously. That's too funny. Doesn't Zuckerberg own an island, does he? Could you imagine? Oh, where are you going? My island. Yeah, okay. I think it's crazy. My daughter's boyfriend that I always talk about, the one whose brother's Richard Burns. Remember that? AJ. His dad has a house. Remember Gianna went, where the hell did she go? Tortola? Tortola. I was like, I didn't even know what the hell Tortola was until he came around. Little and Great St. James. Great imagination. That is too funny. Thank you, Dr. Vona. It was great, but creepy. Just me, I agree with you 100%, but do you see why I felt the need to come live? I was like, I cannot go to bed traumatized by myself. No, I'm kidding. I swear to God, I didn't think that. But I did read it, and I was like, this is like effed up. Like, I need to share this. I was afraid that if I went to bed, that tomorrow, by the time I got to it, I wouldn't have the same passion that I had in the moment. So I'm like, it's midnight, but I'm just going live. I was like, even if people watch it on the replay, but it's crazy. I feel like I should add other stuff to the thumbnail. What should I add to it? What do you think this was about? I put the thing about the dad, but I feel like there was so much more in there. Like buzzwords and stuff. The whole thing was just crazy. Oh, Wendy. You're brilliant, Wendy. Yes, it's terrifying. Oh, wait, Harlot. Not only is it terrifying how much money they've been allowed to accumulate, some of the documents that I went over today were people's financial, like, you know how he overlooked people's accounts and stuff? Well, there's a bunch of their, like, portfolios in here. They have more money than I've ever could imagine. There's just, it's so much money. They're filthy rich. And you know, like when you get your statement, it's like beginning balance and then ending balance, and like you might gain $100, $200, whatever it is. Yeah, it was like 78,000 this month. Last month it was 112,000. I'm like, oh my God. Look in your shared playlist. What is it? Let me see. Wait, I worked at Oracle back in the day. Larry was a perv. He checked me out twice. What? Oh my God. You poor thing. Alright, hold on. What am I looking at? Let me see. Cuff you. Let's see. Alright, I found it. Let's go to our shared playlist. Alright, let's see. Alright, which one am I looking at? Let me see if I can figure it out. Oh my God, there's so many here. I don't know which one I'm looking for. Oh my God, there's some creepy ones here that I've seen too. What's that undercover video? That was pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. Cuffy, there's so many here, I don't even know which one you're referring to. Oh my God, Cuffy, you're like on point. She has like every single video ever. That's crazy. Epstein's Black Book. I'll have to review some of these and then get like certain timestamps and go through them. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I love Rotten Mango, and I see one of theirs in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, I want to watch all of them after live. I see a bunch of them on there that I want to watch. Let's see. Cuffy is your right-hand mod. Cuffy is pretty cool. Harlot's pretty cool too. All of them are pretty cool. Oh look, a squirrel, Truth. Who did I miss? Because then they're going to get mad at me. Explore Course, Sarah. Mark was around forever, but he has his own channel now. So I totally get it. Did I miss anyone? Because I'll feel like a piece of crap. Oh, Barbara. Barbara Hall. But yes, I totally agree. Cuffy helps me tremendously. You all do. And Harlot's always here too for live, I must say. I think Harlot's been here for all of them. Same thing with Guthrie. You guys are great. I appreciate you so much. Truth is my short security guard. I love Truth. Truth is like my very first friend on YouTube. And we've both been like ride or die since then. So it's really cool. So I like that. I like having those types of friendships with you guys. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna let you go. What? Tesla shareholders appropriated $1 trillion pay package for Elon Musk. Oh God. The rich just get richer and richer and richer. It's crazy. Yes, Harlot is my head of hospitality. YouTube, you are so good at these things. Oh, Birdie, have a safe night. And you guys, thank you to my mods, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow. What should we do tomorrow? Any suggestions? Just let me know. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, my mods. I appreciate you. Thank you for everybody that came. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. And what else was I just going to say? Northern Fights. I couldn't think of my words. Thank you to Northern Fights for your super chat. Thank you. All right. I love you all. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a fabulous, fabulous... Oh my God, tomorrow, real quick, we're getting 18 inches of snow. What the actual F is that about? The snow just melted here. My one university already said we're doing virtual. Are you guys getting snow where you're at? If so, how much? Hi, Ava. She's so pretty, my kid. She really is. I can't take it. Prepare for a blizzard? No. That's crazy. I'm not looking forward to shoveling. But anyway, that just means that I'll probably be here more because I don't see how the other college has school if it's going to be that bad. So we'll see what happens. I love you all. Good night, everyone.